but keep it to yourself. I'm feeling curious, want to explore it, nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute, before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it, hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come in here with me. I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow. This feeling's
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Chicago Bulls up against the Detroit Pistons out in Detroit. Wins have been few and far between of late for the Pistons. They'd love to get back on a winning track. 7 losses in their last 8 games. That is not going to get it done, and they know it. And tonight we'll be seeing Andre Drummond, pound for pound, one of the toughest players in the game, a monster in the post. Guys, is he the most physically punishing player in the league, Shaq?
Yes, the amount of space he takes up in the middle is impressive. He shrugs off all sorts of contact inside.
Well, he's got a blend of size and explosiveness, which is kind of unique. I haven't really seen a big man ever with size and explosiveness ever.
I can't really recall anybody either. Kenny, it's an excellent point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm racking my brain going back years and years and years in this league, and I can't think of a guy who is as physically punishing and intimidating just when you look at it.
And you think about it. You could look around, there's pictures of players all in this room, and I still can't see anyone who has that kind of culture.
Whoa. What?
Take it back to Kevin, Ernie.
Okay.
Oh, Shaq was pretty imposing.
No, don't say it now. It's too late.
That's
right. It's too late. I don't want to hear it.
Right behind Andre Drummond.
I don't want to hear
vote.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
This is 2K Sports, broadcasting from the Motor City as the Pistons take it to the hardwood at Little Caesars Arena. This is Kevin Harlan. We've got Chris Webber and Greg Anthony with us, and from the sideline, we'll be hearing from David Aldridge. Looking at Chicago, they took the win in their last game against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
But I like that they attacked those weaknesses. They made them pay for a lackluster effort.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached the likes of Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dwight Howard. But he said, as a rebounder, Andre Drummond is as good as anybody, if not the best that I've ever been around. He just goes out and gets the ball. Drummond said it's just a will. The will to get the ball most people won't jump for. I just put myself out there. Kevin?
Thanks, D.A. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. And a conference rivalry renewed tonight. This one could get a little chippy, Chris.
Games like this always have a little bit of extra meaning on both sides, especially for the fans. You can see that look of intensity in their eyes.
And it's Chicago to start out. Here's Levine.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. Crazy.
And this is why defensively you can't afford to let Levine get to the rim. Too much explosiveness.
Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup. Dunn and Levine, their backcourt. Portis is out there with Markkanen. And it's Nwaba in at the 3, the small forward. And the shot goes in. Portis has got his first bucket of the night.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Well, that opening right there, that's just because the defense failed to rotate.
Outside, Levine. And the Bulls tack on 2 more.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, he's a guy who can carry you for stretches, long stretches in this game. You want to get him involved early and often.
Tight finish with the defense right there on top of him.
There's the pick inside, and Levine throws it down.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Oh, yeah, incredible teamwork there. A play you perfect only by practicing it until you're blue in the face.
Markkanen can't get it to go.
Oh, you see, finally see a miss there after hitting their first 4 shots of the game.
And Drummond throws it down.
And Drummond is just a powerful presence. So aggressive in how he skies up for the slam.
Bulls have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Dunn kicks to Nwaba. And there's the pass to Dunn. Bulls moving the ball around. Levine can't hit. Here in the first quarter with about 2 minutes gone by. And then Griffin with the dunk.
And just the sheer power of Griffin, one of the best finishers in the league after contact.
Chicago's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Dunn dishes to Markkanen. Feeds it to Levine. To the paint. Nice shot by Portis.
Yeah, another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively here so far.
And the shot goes down.
The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
Dunn passes to Markkanen. No one near him. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
How about the soft touch there from Markkanen? A dangerous weapon on offense, constantly looking for ways to score.
Well, he is now 4 of 5 from the field, already making a difference for his team on offense.
We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. They double him with Drummond. Nwaba kicks to Markkanen. They get it again. For Detroit, they've gone 7 of 9 from the field. A really nice start offensively for them. Here's Nwaba. His last outing, he had 8 points. They double him with Drummond. Levine dishes to Dunn. Back to Levine. 6 on the shot clock. And the Bulls get it back. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That is his first foul of the game. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Dunn with it. Now Smith defending. Dunn kicks to Levine. Knocked away.
Wow, he was one step ahead of the defense there. Brilliant work coming up with the takeaway.
And the shot is good.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Bulls trail by 4. On the wing, Levine from outside the arc. Rebound by Smith, and it's Detroit's ball. They're on a 14-6 run. Griffin's shot is off.
He loses concentration at the moment of truth and blows the layup.
And Chris, you played during an era against a team that many consider the greatest of all time, that 96 Chicago Bulls team with Jordan and Pippen and a great roster. Just thinking back to that team during that second three-peat, what was it like when you were going up against that Bulls team?
So tough to play against that team. Jordan, arguably the best player that's ever, laced them up. And Pippen was so tough offensively and rebounding. Rodman as well on the boards. And then you had guys in a system that was, just really too much. It's hard to say. Of course, in my opinion, having played against them, they're the best team of all time. But Bill Russell once told me, ghosts can't play, so don't get caught up in comparing errors that you really can't prove it. So, yeah, of course they're the best of all time to me, but it's fun watching these young kids play today.
Bulls trail by 4. And here is Dunn. Markkanen passes to Dunn. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Dunn's got his first basket.
Just grown man work from Dunn inside. His incredible athleticism really helping get him these types of shots.
The Bulls have gone 8 of 14 from the field in the first quarter. Here's Levine, and he hits it to tie the game up. Levine's got 10.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Griffin laid in with a nice touch off the glass. And so here is Chicago. Dunn with it, and Griffin picks him up defensively. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. Dunn's got his second bucket of the night. Here's Ennis. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Griffin.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Zach LaVine, breaking down his play since the All-Star break. He's putting up about 17 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. And he's been putting up points with regularity. I mean, that's what they depend on, his killer instinct on offense.
Yeah, anytime this club needs a basket, he's their go-to guy. Just an irrepressible, prolific scorer.
And the Pistons making a change here. Johnson's checked in. Now Detroit moving it up.
That athletic.
Yeah.
Wow. Jumped out of the gym.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
And how about the explosiveness he shows, going from the offensive to the defensive end in a blink?
Dunn kicks to Portis. Levine wide open. Off target from three-point range.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Here's Drummond. Chicago grabs the miss.
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him.
And stolen by Drummond. And here we go. The Pistons fast break, and it's Drummond with the jam.
Defense is what Drummond prides himself in, especially when it comes to letting his quick hands generate offense for this team.
Bulls trail by 6. Knocks it loose, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond. And a look here at the scoring trend over the last several months for Dunn.
It's been surprising to me to see him take a little bit of a tumble lately in terms of what he's doing for them offensively. The points just haven't been there for him like they were a few months back. The defenses he's facing have adjusted to him, and he hasn't been able to make his own adjustments.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession.
And how about the numbers on Andre Drummond? Tremendous numbers for him over the last 10 games. First in rebounding, and he provides that deterrent around the rim, ranking among the top 15 league-wide in blocks per game.
And just going back real quick to the fact that he's tops in the league in rebounds, what a tremendous feat. What a monster he is in the paint. Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Tolliver comes in for Andre Drummond, and Langston Galloway subbed in for Ish Smith. Lock at 6. Count that bucket. Portis has got 6.
And you got to like the vision for Markkanen. I mean, a big man who knows how to find the open man.
Last outing for the Pistons, it was a loss to the Raptors.
Yeah, nowhere near at their best throughout the course of that game. A scrappy performance, but in the end, just not enough.
Yeah, it just wasn't their night. They missed some shots they typically make. Never really got over that hump.
Galloway. And he can't bank that one in. Valentine kicks to Payne. And that misses. That would have put him up. The Pistons leading. And some players, you just kind of know that they'll end up in coaching, just the way they approach the game and go about themselves. Chris, having played Hoiberg during your career, did you ever see him becoming a head coach?
Well, it's not as easy to tell your opponents versus your teammates. Didn't have a really close relationship with them, didn't know or his expectations, never played with them. So, no, I never saw it coming.
And he knocks down the first one. And Chris, we often talk about what makes a good coach or a good player, but to change it up a bit, what do you think is an aspect of being a good general manager in the NBA?
I think being a good manager is about a couple of things. Knowing how to manipulate and deal with the salary cap so that you can bring the best players around each other, but the skill sets have to fit. Best players aren't just what a guy has done in the past or how many points he scored or how many records that he's broken. It's about, does his skill set fit with another player? So you don't want two guys that are ball handlers on the same team, or you don't want two guys that need a ball handler to facilitate, and therefore you don't have anyone to penetrate. So someone that knows how to weave and interject different skill sets that complement each other, I think is the type of GM that is successful in this league.
Sometimes easier said than done, though, right?
I think most times easier said than done, because a lot of GMs have some great ideas, but they need someone else to help in that trade or a player that's willing. And so, you know, you have a lot of moving factors right there.
Pistons leading by 5. Tolliver for 3. The shot will not fall. And Chicago shooting quite well in these early minutes, 55%. Got a piece of it. And here we go, Pistons running again. All alone, throws down the breakaway jam.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Yeah, talent in this league has it so that now pretty much every team can push the pace. You have to get back on defense.
Now here's Valentine. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Payne's shot is good.
There isn't any player in the league who's going to pass up that shot. There was nobody near him.
Johnson goes in, and then Johnson with the jam.
And whenever Johnson is driving to the rack, he's preparing himself for the slam and bracing for the contact. What an incredible dunker.
Kicks to Vonleh. He feeds it to Valentine. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. And off target that time from Zipser. The Pistons shooting has been tremendous early. Their offense looking primed and ready for this matchup. He tries for 3. Rebound, Detroit. Victory eluded them last time in Chicago when they faced the Bulls.
Yeah, nowhere near at their best throughout the course of that game. A scrappy performance, but in the end, just not enough.
Yeah, it just wasn't their night. They missed some shots they typically make. Never really got over that hump.
And Chicago has possession after the basket by Detroit. Out of bounds, Bulls ball as Chicago keeps possession. As we get a break in the action, now let's take a look at the East and how the teams are stacking up. You look at Detroit, winding things down this season. They're in that all-important 9th position within striking distance of a playoff spot. And, of course, Chicago, just a few spots below there.
And checking out Detroit, hanging where they are, right in the middle of the standings, will not make things easy for them down the stretch.
Man, they have to find a way to get better and not just be a mid-level team. Whether they get things together and accomplish this remains to be seen.
Here's Moreland, the big dunk at the end of the break.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
Well, I love how they've done it. They've built this huge lead with points in the paint, dominating physically.
Now here's Payne. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. Kennard, he's checked in for the Pistons. Here's Valentine, and again, no good by Chicago.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
The best laid plans, right? Well, I tell you right there, though, that's one they'll take every single time.
The Pistons have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
That one is off.
So often hear about how much Detroit Pistons fans pride themselves on the defense of this team. It's a part of the franchise's identity. All the fans in Detroit definitely love their defense.
And the second free throw, good. And only a handful of teams have a franchise identity like that with the Pistons in defense. Maybe the Lakers playing up-tempo or Memphis grinding it out.
Well, yeah, not many teams or franchises have an identity, and that's what makes it so special to play in Detroit for that reason. There's nothing like hearing the crowd get hyped for a defensive stop.
Here's Moreland, 5 points in the game. And he comes up with the deuce.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Payne gets a wide open look. Off target from three-point range.
He's still looking to get into a groove this quarter.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot's good by Kennard.
Aggressive coming out of the gate here, guys. Wow.
Yeah, you got to love it. Everything's working. Offense, defense, already a big lead.
Up again. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
Oh, a nice tip in to salvage the points from that missed shot.
Yeah, and those second chance points can add up.
And loving the hustle here early. I mean, they struck first on the offensive glass.
They set the pick. Payne passes to Zipser. No good on the three. And so it's the Detroit Pistons looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. They've excelled in the open court. Their transition game has allowed them to build this healthy lead. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And Blake Griffin grew up playing the game alongside his older brother. His dad was his coach, and he credits his brother for inspiring him to work at his craft.
You know, watching him kind of go through the process of he started to get, recruited by college coaches, and then he, really took his game and became serious about it. And I watched his work ethic, and I watched how he, put the time in, the things he did, and that's kind of where I developed mine.
Well, talking about taking the right course, we know that the older brother of Blake Griffin, 3 years older, he played, as did Blake, for their dad Tommy in high school, and they were terrific high school players and 4-time state champions.
I mean, it always helps to have a big brother who's kind of been there and done that and can share those experiences with you. Doesn't hurt to have a dad also who's a pro player either, and also a college coach.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And the Pistons have been rolling right along, haven't they?
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnovers.
Well, that's what happens when you're aggressive on that end of the floor. They took a few chances and took control of the game.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the court for the Pistons, we've got Anthony Tolliver. Kennard is out there with Dwight Bikes, and it's Moreland in at center. And so here is Chicago, down by 15. Felicio with the bucket.
Look at this. I like this. Team basketball. Keeping the ball moving till they find the right shot.
And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Now, that was a sensational feed. He hit him right on the move.
Well, the Bulls shooting 48% from the field. Not bad at all. To the middle. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board. And I don't mean style points.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
And hammering down the two-hand slam. Here's Payne, following the bucket by the Pistons. That's his 4th basket of the game, and he's only taken 4 shots. Off to a good start.
That's just too easy. I mean, you can't let him post you like that.
Well, yeah, you want to try to deny and take something away, but you can also see he's smart about his position.
Pass to Valentine. We're closing in on 2 minutes played here in the second quarter. Payne's shot is good.
Now, how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket? And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. And with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one. To the inside. Shoots from the corner. Chicago keeps it going. A new 24-second clock. Felicio, no good. Pistons leading by 15. Here's Moreland. Vonleh with the rebound.
A hand right in his face on the layup. Excellent defense that time in the paint.
Vonleh setting the pick for Payne. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. Andre Drummond's checked in for Anthony Tolliver. The Bulls also changing it up. Zach LaVine comes in for Paul Zipser. And it's done in for Payne. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Felicio controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
He played a very solid first quarter, and now he's taking it up a notch here in the second.
And that one's good. Drummond's got 12 points in the game.
And the play is all about Drummond and his solid fundamentals, just taking his time and getting a high-quality chance as a result.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. And Chris, so many of us involved with the NBA, either as broadcasters or players, had a moment where they just knew that this was the game for us. Did you ever have that moment? And if so, Chris, when did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
Wow, that's a great question, Kev. You know what? I have so many signature moments in my life that continually made me fall in love. I don't know if there's just one. You know, I remember, for instance, Isaiah Thomas, after he won the All-Star game, I believe it was like 86, 87, and after he had his mom come up and his mom did the interview with him, and I was there with my mom, and I remember thinking to myself, man, that would be a cool moment. Or watching Magic Johnson hoist up a championship because he was from Michigan and I had followed his career the whole time, and so watching him win a championship. Or how about those great Magic Johnson, Larry Bird commercials back when they got out the limo and were looking at each other, you know, that type of stuff. So, man, so many great moments, man. I can't pick one, but there's so many great moments.
Great moments indeed. And Chris, as you grew up a Piston fan, being born in Detroit, which Piston were you the biggest fan of when you were growing up?
Oh, wow. By far, Isaiah, no question. Isaiah was the heart and soul of that team, a guy that was smile, but you know, had the heart of an assassin that wanted to play and use everything that he had to get a win out of every game. The best small guard, in my opinion, the game has seen. His handles, his leadership. He was just a Chicago kid trying to make it. And then, of course, Joe Dumars, and the fact that, you know, he was just so solid, such a great guy for the community, such a heck of a two-guard out there, a defender, a guy that could spread the floor. And, of course, Bill Laimbeer, his physical play, Bob Lanier, my man Rick Mahorn, Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre. I could keep going. Chuck Nevitt even was a Piston for a while.
And really the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
Ennis, good.
And offensively, they've done a great job here of staying in rhythm.
Yeah, of the two teams, they're taking the more makeable shots. Let's see if they can sustain it throughout the game.
Now here's LaVine. He picked up 21 points in their last win against Memphis. Here's Drummond. And Ennis slams it in.
And guys, that's his game. I mean, battling in the paint and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And Greg, cashing in hard. I mean, man, oh man, he puts an exclamation point on that dunk.
Yes.
But guys, the defense knows he has this ability, correct? Yet no one thinks to put a body on him? Incredible. As he continues to rack up the misses from three-point range, he still appears undeterred. He's going to keep firing from out there.
Drummond, that's a basket, is 8th from the field, 8 of 14.
Well, he's been the safety valve for them on every possession. So dependable.
Bulls trail by 21. Pass to Levine. He dishes it to Dunn. They set the screen. And there's Levine on the assist from Dunn. And 12 points for Zach Levine.
And the height Dunn possesses is what allows him to see the floor so well. So good at setting up his guys for quality shots. And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. Felicio, no good.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
Really like that work there in the paint. He has really established a low post presence.
Now here's Levine. He's got 12. Valentine kicks to Felicio. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
Oh, this guy, his motor is always the same. No matter what the score of the game is, he always remains aggressive.
Oh, fantastic dunk. And he hangs around up there just for a little camera time.
Yeah, maybe he didn't want to land awkwardly. Who knows? But there he is, and we see it very clearly. Here's Dunn. He picked up 21 points in their last win against Memphis.
Don't forget, he also racked up 3 steals. He showed terrific anticipation and heart on the defensive end.
He's one of the guys having a solid game for them, but as a whole, they've been lacking.
And he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up. It's going to be Drummond shooting. Chris Dunn picks one up.
Thought of what Andre Drummond could be down the road, I mean, really is just scary. I mean, he could dominate. If he just gets a handful of go-to moves on the post, you can't stop him. He's an offensive bully on the glass. Potential is there.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Bobby Portis has checked in for Felicio. Markkanen comes in for Vonleh. And David Nwaba is subbed in for Denzel Valentine. Free throw good, Drummond. And with Drummond, as you said, Chris, he is still full of room to develop. You forget just how young he is as he's been in the league for so long already.
You know, he just needs to keep improving every year. And also, he's not in the offensive system. Their system, the coaching staff, the Pistons are not known as an offensive-type team. So he's going to have to get better in the summers and find his way along as time goes on. But he has an athletic skill set that you just don't see in this league anymore.
Chicago calls timeout.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
Well, I think the first thing they need to talk about are the rotations. There's a lot of miscommunication out there.
And to look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Detroit.
And the corner 3 has not been their shot of choice here tonight. And I think a big reason for that has been the defensive setup. They came in focused on taking away the short-range triple.
Done with it. And he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game. They double him with Drummond. And stolen by Drummond. The finish. Oh, and the jam by Drummond.
The exceptional athleticism of Drummond on full display tonight. Just an unreal athlete.
Chicago's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Dunn kicks to Portis. The shot by Markkanen, nobody around. That's good, and it's Levine with the assist. Levine's got his 4th assist in this one. Here's Griffin. Oh, and he jams it right over Lauri Markkanen. Wow.
Man, one for the highlight reel. And you see after multiple knee surgeries, Griffin can still get up.
And it's done in the corner. That 3 off the mark.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
That shot by Griffin, no good. Chicago's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Here's Portis. And it's off from three-point range. They have been really controlling this one.
You never want to be complacent on the floor. That's when you lose momentum.
Outside, Levine. Griffin on the double team. And the foul called on Blake Griffin. That's his first foul. Here's Markkanen. Drops in the tray. Markkanen's got a pair of triples in the second now for the Bulls.
And I tell you what, Markkanen has already mastered the art of the bank shot. Loves getting it up there and knocking that one down. You have got to be in his space if you want to disrupt his rhythm.
Here's Dunn, following the basket by Blake Griffin. Markkanen can't get it to go. Passes it to Griffin. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. Smith's got 5 assists tonight.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Now here's Levine. He's got 12. It's stolen by Johnson. 2-on-1 as they jump out on the break. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up.
And no longer a guy you're okay to foul. Griffin's made steady improvement at the free throw line.
One of the most impressive things about Blake Griffin is, Greg, when he gets out and runs the open floor.
Yeah, not to mention his ability to run the break himself. A terrific ball handler, even under pressure, and one of the best passers at the 4 in the league, if not the best.
2.
That's good from Blake Griffin. And Chris, as your career progressed, your free throw shooting percentage jumped up about 20 points higher than when you started. That's not the case for a lot of players. Just how hard is it for a big man to improve their free throw shooting throughout their career?
Okay, that's probably one of the things I'm proudest of, is that I have the record for going from worst to that best improvement, and I worked out hard. I had a shooting coach, Buzz. We worked out every summer. I would take him everywhere with me, Kev. I mean,
really?
I would take this guy to the club, to church, to a restaurant, to he'd have to wait outside the bathroom. Everywhere I went that summer, I wanted him, with me, because you have to focus and concentrate on it. You think about it, you have to change not only your mental habits, your repetition, but your thought process. So step 1 is figuring out that shot. Step 2 is how many repetitions. Step 3 is, can you get that in game time atmosphere? And you really can't unless you punish yourself in the summer with running. So if you have to do a suicide every one you miss, or it just was so much work and intensity on it, because you have to build up so much trust. Because the reason why guys shoot bad free throws, they don't trust it. They shoot a different way every time. And it was fun becoming better at that. But that's probably one of the toughest things I've ever done, was get better at shooting free throws, because the concentration and time allowed it to try to improve.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Levine kicks to Dunn. There's the pick. Markkanen in the corner. And the three ball is good. Markkanen's got 11.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give him from behind the arc.
Got that bucket in no time at all.
It was all about his athleticism when Griffin first came into the league, but it didn't take long to see he was about a lot more than that. He's got serious skills down low.
Chicago calls timeout. Well, many had high hopes for what Stanley Johnson could be in the NBA, but after a rough sophomore season, questions have been raised, C-Webb. Former 9th overall pick, the player of the year in high school in Los Angeles, terrific freshman year at Arizona. He saw a major regression in many areas of his game.
Well, look, the NBA is a different level, and when you come in as younger as Stanley came in, you're going to have to figure your way out. He's with a great organization, great coaches around. He should improve with hard work.
The Pistons making a change here. Tolliver's checked in, then for the Bulls. Paul Zipser, he's checked in for Levine, and it's Payne in for Dunn. Now here's Payne. He has 5. To the inside, it's deflected. Portis, the shot from the low post is good. 11 points in the game. One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent passing.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync.
Oh, man, and it's important to this team that Johnson connects on these perimeter attempts. He's remarkable at opening the floor for his guys.
There's the pass to Portis. Griffin on the double team. Here's Zipser. He's guarded by Johnson. Just 5 on the clock. And taken away by Johnson. Now Detroit moving it up. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. And with a quick break in the action, let's now take a look at the top rookie free throw shooters in the NBA. Lauri Markkanen, number 1.
Yeah, he doesn't miss that many, does he? I mean, great skill level to go with his obvious talent. He's taking full advantage every time he draws a whistle.
And the first one at the line is good.
And doing a good job from the line here in the second quarter.
And Johnson drops them both. Chris, we all know you were a big Pistons fan growing up, and of course that means that you had plenty of chances to root against the Chicago Bulls. When you go back and you think about when you were young, was there one Bulls player that you loved to hate, so to speak?
You know, a little secret, I always cheered for Detroit, but I never hated the Bulls. Isaiah and Jordan were my favorite players. That's a little bit of a cop-out along with Magic, Bird, Dominique. But no. I really loved Artis Gilmore as well coming before. But no, I really can't say I had a player on the Bulls that I didn't really like.
Here's Griffin. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Griffin's got 20.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Payne passes to Zipser. There's the feed to Payne. Deflects the pass. Payne picks up the loose ball, but he was in the backcourt. They'll give it up.
Guys, hard enough to win in this league, but when you continue to hurt yourself because of miscues, it makes it all the more difficult.
On the wing, Johnson. He's got 11, and he makes that one. 22 points for Blake Griffin.
He's taking over the game. Their lead's going to get even bigger if he keeps this up.
And Chicago shooting it very well. 54% from the floor in the second quarter. Zipser kicks to Nwaba. Knocked away. And it's out of bounds. And they say last touch by Griffin. .46 seconds left in the first half of basketball. And the foul called on Blake Griffin. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
There's 42 seconds left in the first half. Payne kicks to Markkanen.
And the outside game just not clicking for them tonight. That three-point percentage is up from where it was in the first quarter, but that ain't saying a whole lot.
They get a hand on it. And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. .24 seconds left in the first half of the game. Payne with it, and it's Nelson picking him up. Here's Markkanen.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
Fast break Detroit. Here's Nelson. It's rebounded by Portis. Portis has got 6 rebounds here tonight. And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. Pistons ahead, running away with it. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with Stan Van Gundy. Coach, a very good first half for you guys. How do you assess the game so far?
Well, I thought our energy was good, our ball movement was good, and it always looks good if the ball goes in and guys are making shots.
That's the name of the game, right, Coach? Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow, right here on 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was Andre Drummond who got hot in the first. He had 27 points, 2 steals, and 1 assist. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Well, they're getting to the line more, and that usually comes down to wanting it more. Because once they had the lead, they kept pushing. They tightened the screws up, and they didn't let go.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
They relied way too heavily on three-point shot in the first half. Their long-range game was off. That's my off sound, Ernie. They were off, but they still settled for the outside shots. They got to put more pressure on the defense by pounding it inside and attacking the basket.
That's it for now as the second half's just about ready to go.
Welcome back, everyone. The lights of Motown reflecting brightly off the Detroit River. Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. Andre Drummond has been sensational.
And I'll tell you, his work on the blocks in that first half, really impressive.
Oh, yeah, especially how he established great position and showing some nice footwork and really read how the defense was playing.
Pistons shooting an unreal 70% from the field, making a mockery of this defense. So for Chicago right now, Dunn and Levine, their backcourt. Markkanen is out there with Portis, and it's Nwaba in at the small forward. Now, here's Dunn. Markkanen passes to Portis. The dunk and the foul, a powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. It's going to be on Blake Griffin. The Bulls shooting their first free throw of the night here.
One shot.
And the free throw, no good.
And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear, this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be. Strong defensively, really good at rebounding the basketball, and I think deliberate and patient on the offensive side of the floor.
Chicago with the ball after the basket by Detroit. Now Detroit moving it up. And Griffin slams it in.
And that's the trademark Griffin finish. Get in tight, elevate, and throw it down with authority. Big fella is a beast down low.
And with the Pistons, this has been the identity the team has been aiming for under Stan Van Gundy. It's taken shape, but has yet, Greg, to produce big results.
I think it's because they've just always been one or two pieces short of making that next jump. I think the conference has gotten stronger, and while their best players are really good, I don't think they're quite at that elite level yet to allow this group to take that next step.
Now, here's Dunn after the miss from Andre Drummond. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond. Now, here's Dunn, covered by Smith. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. And a look here at the shot chart for the Bulls.
Right now, after looking at that chart, you pretty much can just jog down the court if he gets it in the paint. That just time and time again, he's worked his way in close and made a shot over a defender or found another way to convert. Just great stuff coming from him thus far.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Shot clock at 5. Dunn with it. Now Smith defending. Dunn misses.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
It's Drummond with the drive. Nwaba with the rebound. Bulls have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Pass to Portis. Pulls up. Tips it. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Markkanen's got 4 this quarter.
And remember, at 7 feet tall, Markkanen is tough to keep off the boards, solid at tracking down misses on that offensive glass.
And when he gets his points within the flow of the offense, that efficiency has helped them build this lead.
For Detroit, they've gone 4 of 6 from the field since the start of the third. Griffin's shot is good.
Defensively, this is what you know. He's coming off a hot game and looking to keep it rolling.
Yeah, but here's the problem. They play team ball. So if you pay him too much attention, that just leaves other guys open, and it's too difficult of an adjustment to make.
Markkanen can't get it to go.
He's been unlucky this half after lighting up the perimeter in the first half.
Here's Drummond. Sinks that one from the post. Drummond's got 31 points.
Wow, and that's the length and the touch of Drummond. It's hard for anyone to contest. When he's in the zone, the basket is as big as the ocean.
Here's the screen. Inside, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond. Well, in terms of rebounding over the last 10 games, these are the rookies that have been head and shoulders above the rest. Lauri Markkanen is second.
Well, we've seen how ferocious he can be in the paint. He's not shy about trading elbows and bodying up for position.
Langston Galloway's checked in for Reggie Bullock. And the Bulls making a change also. Valentine's checked in. They double him with Drummond. Clock at 6. Knocked loose and stolen by Drummond. Well, here we go with Griffin. Nobody back there. And the slam by Blake Griffin.
Love seeing the offense run through the big man. Drummond with great vision and terrific feed.
Third quarter action and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Pass to Portis. Now the dish to Valentine. Here's Markkanen. And again, no good by Chicago. The 19-foot shot. They get it back. The shot, no good. For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 8 so far in the third quarter, looking to lock in that rhythm. Back to Levine. Griffin on the double team. Valentine kicks to Markkanen. Count that one. Markkanen's got 17 now.
And Markkanen continuing to improve inside. I mean, utilizing his height, the D has a tough time matching up with somebody with his skill set.
That is ferocious.
You said it. That was ferocious. Well, Ish Smith is a player who has been around the league a ton for a guy his age and his quality. He's suited up for 10 or so teams already in his career. But see, Webb, you watch him play, and he knows he can make an impact at the point guard position. Just ask his coach, Stan Van Gundy.
Well, think about it. The more teams you're with, the more you get to see different philosophies, different styles, play against different guys. So he's picked up confidence, and he's picked up knowledge across his journey throughout the NBA. I mean, Smith has a good enough mid-range game where you have to respect him. He knows where to look. He knows how to set up teammates, but make no doubt about it, it's Smith's quickness that is his greatest asset.
So for the Pistons, Moreland's checked in, and it's Dwight Bikes in for Smith. For three, Levine. Kennard with the rebound. The Pistons have gone 8 of 12 from the field since the beginning of the third. It's tipped, and that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Here's Bikes. Shot's good. Griffin making the play.
And we're seeing some great ball movement out of this group, guys.
Chicago's gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Poked away. Sinks it, and the shot from Bikes. Bikes has got 4 points in the quarter.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Levine sets the screen for Valentine. Dishes it to Levine. Dunn, wide open, he fires. And again, no good by Chicago. Detroit with the ball. They'll be off next to Utah for a meeting with the Jazz. That will kick off a 6-game road trip for the team.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Now, here's Dunn. Outside, Levine. Outside, Griffin. Over Vonleh, and the Pistons getting another bucket right there.
He continues to be their go-to guy. If they close this game out, his stamp will be all over this win.
They set the pick. Here's Dunn. Oh, and the dunk by Dunn.
And once again, Dunn showing off his all-around game. Not just an incredible shooter, but an unreal finisher on the drive as well.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for the Pistons.
One shot.
And the free throw, no good.
The Bulls have been very active in revamping this roster. A lot of trades and player movement. They were worried of becoming a treadmill team.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Here's Levine following the bucket by the Pistons. With some lackluster finishes to their season the last couple years, that worry of finishing poorly isn't going away for Bulls fans. But luckily, the Bulls have a history, Chris, of shaking things up.
It's never easy to make that choice. The front office has been proactive in shaking things up. Not easy, but they're committed to change right now.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
Free throw good, Levine. And one of the pieces of the Jimmy Butler trade this offseason, Zach LaVine finds himself as a prime building block for a rebuilding team. The Bulls see him as a star of the future.
And rightfully so, even given the fact that he's recovering from the ACL surgery.
LaVine is young and can grow his game with the team. Hard to get fair value for a player of Butler's ability, but LaVine is a great place to start. Just no resistance inside at all. They are feasting. This is a straight buffet.
It is. It's a big one. And load the plate. Now, here's Vonleh. Here's Valentine. And again, Chicago. No good. Here's Kennard. A second chance effort. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And the foul goes against Chicago. The Pistons have shot the ball well from the free throw line, 8 of 9.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good. And Chris, growing up a fan of the Pistons, did you have any particular moment that sticks out to you about this franchise?
Oh, so many moments. Isaiah Thomas winning MVP in the All-Star game. So many moments. Joe Dumars playing great defense on Michael Jordan, sweeping the 1989 finals. That was our first time. And in high school, I remember we had these little pocket TVs that one of my friends had. We actually got to watch the game as the Pistons played against Portland. So, of course, I have many memories. You want some more? I keep going on and on and on and on.
Now, here's Valentine. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
How about the screen that frees him up, though, for the jumper?
Here's Kennard. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
You know the saying, numbers don't lie. You can see it up there on the scoreboard.
Zipser. And it's off from three-point range.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
The Bulls have gone 7 for 16 in the second half from the field, shooting a bit under 50%. He kicks it to Valentine. Offline with his 3.
It's clear this just isn't his night. I mean, if they're going to keep him on the floor, I think his best role would be to be a decoy.
Tolliver for 3. Doesn't go for him. And Chicago will go the other way with the ball. Now Payne. He's got 5. There's a screen. Snatched away. And here we go. The Pistons fast break. Tolliver with the bucket.
And I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen tonight. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively, turning into easy points.
And that replay brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in basketball. And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. Stanley Johnson, he's checked in for Detroit. Nelson comes in for Dwight Bikes. And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. And Stan Van Gundy, known for being one of the more demanding coaches when it comes to defense. He doesn't care who you are. If you're not giving it your all on the defensive end, you're going to find yourself on the bench.
Well, he's clear with what he wants and what he expects, and, you know, when you step on the floor.
Going back to your playing days, Chris, you were drafted by the Magic but traded on draft day to the Golden State Warriors. If you had suited up for the Magic alongside Shaquille O'Neal, that would have been something.
Oh yeah, I would have tried to. You know, I think I would have been the first Westbrook. That was my goal. If I was playing with Big Shaq, just do your job, and I would have averaged a triple-double easily. I would have averaged a triple-double. When you look at Dennis Scott, that would have been on the corner, Big Shaq up top, and that pick and roll right there. You're gonna have to guard me or him, and I didn't mind throwing it up to a big fella. I love seeing people dunk from alley-oop, so that would have been fun. I would have tried to have Shaq break a backboard every single night. But hey, can't go back in time, man.
And a chance here to look at the numbers for Valentine. He's averaging 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
Connects from three-point range. Zipser's got his first 3 points of the game. Johnson left side. Lets it go with the three. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
Okay, we got a nice little back and forth going here.
And I love it, Greg. Both sides inflicting damage from the perimeter. We'll see how the defenses adjust, though.
For the finish. Oh, and the jam by Johnson.
Oh, you have to love the commitment from Johnson on defense, swiping at the ball and coming up with big steals thanks to his length.
Bulls shooting 44% on their field goal attempts in quarter 3. Here's Payne. 5 points in the game. Feeds it to Valentine. The three-pointer, no good. Detroit's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Tolliver with the bucket. Tolliver's got 4 points this quarter.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
And here's Payne. He feeds it to Valentine. There's the pick. Looking to end the run. Johnson with the block.
And the exceptional athleticism of Johnson. Love how he gets up for these rejections. A frustrating start to this quarter for him.
The Bulls shooting from the field, 44%, not bad. Here's Zipser. He's guarded by Johnson. Zipser, the pass to Vonleh, and the dunk by Vonleh.
He gives up a lot of size to most other power forwards, but not too many of them can fly like he can.
Tolliver, that's the 6th make from the field. He's taken 9 shots and missed but 3.
You can't pass up a shot from such short range.
Tolliver's got most of his shots to fall. 6 makes in 9 tries. And the dunk by Vonleh.
Oh, fellas, that was vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one. Count it, good. Moreland's got 14.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Now here's Payne, guarded by Nelson. Payne's shot is good.
And that's why it's so important to really be a good screening team. You get a lot of open looks from it.
Nelson, no luck. They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that.
He is really deadly from the perimeter. Even though he didn't make one in the first quarter, you still have to keep an eye on him.
Here's Moreland. Count that as his 7th field goal in 10 tries. He's shooting a very good 70%.
He does not play the score. I mean, he's going to continue to work his tail off on the glass and make plays just like that.
Keep it simple, know yourself, and that's how he gets his minutes. He doesn't stop battling for rebounds even when the score is lopsided. He knows his role.
Here's Johnson. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Vonleh's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Valentine dishes to Payne. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Yeah, they've been tremendous from beyond the arc. It's a shift from what they did in the first 2 quarters, though. And look, he's been so dependable in this game, taking nothing but good shots.
Here's Valentine. Not going to go that time. Blake Griffin getting it done for the Detroit Pistons. With the points he racked up that quarter, he has broken his season-high scoring mark already. Back right after this. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the 4th quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. And for the Bulls, they're shooting 47%, pretty solid. Jameer Nelson is out there with Ennis. Then it's Ellenson. Then it's Johnson. And it's Moreland in at the four-man position. That's the group for Detroit right now.
The defense a step slow, and you can see the results.
And it's Ennis that time on the assist by Nelson.
Oh, terrific pass work. That shot's a lot easier after an assist like that.
Grant with the ball. And it's Nelson picking him up. Lopez left side. Good on the bucket. Holiday's got 5 points in the quarter.
Lopez remains an underrated big man. He's outstanding at zipping passes over to his guys.
That one drops for him.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling down.
Grant kicks to Zipser. Screen by Grant. There's a screen. Tries a three, and again it's the Bulls from deep. We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. Here's Moreland. Good, and a nice assist from Nelson. Nelson's got 3 assists in the game.
Nice, spicy finish. He was left alone. Why not?
Now, here's Grant. Out to the right wing.
And for many years, the Chicago Bulls were viewed as a model franchise. Always were competitive and in the hunt for a title, but this current version just can't escape turmoil from within.
And the Bulls finally committing, Greg, to a full rebuild this last offseason.
Yeah, and trading Butler was the start of it. I mean, they got some young players to build around and a pick, and it won't be an easy road ahead, but one they felt they needed to make.
And the first one drops. Chris, if you were on the rules committee, what rule change would you like to see the NBA make going forward?
Kevin, there's not a rule I'd necessarily have changed, but I'd ask them to kind of reinterpret a couple of rules, and that goes with the flagrant foul. I often see so many plays that are just hard fouls called as flagrant fouls, and that can affect not only a player and later on whether it's a flagrant 2, but it can affect the game. It can affect the next game by how it's interpreted by a player being kicked out because of that. And so I just want to take the sensitivity or put the toughness back into that. So many flagrant fouls are called and they're not going at the head or they're chopping down on the wrist. And I just like to see it get back to be interpreted as it was a little while ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago.
And it's the Bulls with the ball after the basket by Detroit.
And how many extra possessions have they gotten because of that rebounding edge?
You can build a lead in a number of ways. Obviously, rebounding has been the backbone of their efforts all night.
Now, here's Grant. Outside Holiday. Drills it from outside. Holiday's got 9 points now in just the second half.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
From the arc. Rebounded by the Pistons. Moreland's got 11 rebounds in the game. Johnson, and 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Chicago called for the foul.
That's just a solid play by Johnson, sensing the physical defense and going right up into him with the shot.
Shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good. And the pace of the NBA game has changed, becoming more strenuous. We've heard a growing chorus saying that the NBA regular season should be shortened, Chris, to allow more time for recovery.
No, the guys should do less in the summers. The NBA has always been 82 games, and that's the season. Anything you do outside of the NBA does not concern the season. So if you're tired because you play on several teams for your country, or the fact that you work out and you go to several camps, that's only your fault. You know how to get rest during the off season. So that's ridiculous to say that there won't be 82 games a year. That's ridiculous. How do you how do you keep in a historical continuity if we don't keep it that way? So I think guys need to take it upon themselves to find ways to get more rest in the summer.
For the Pistons, Kennard, he's checked in for Johnson. And it's Dwight Bikes in for Nelson. And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Grant outside. Holiday with the three. Rebound by the Pistons. Here's Kennard, and the layup falls.
He got pretty much a free run to the hoop right there. They might just count those as automatic points.
Grant outside. To the paint. It's stolen by Ennis. One-on-one here. Here's Kennard. Here's Bikes. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket.
And you can see how this game is going. I mean, put a body on somebody.
Man, this is what happens when you get discouraged. Sometimes it just affects every part of your game.
Now, here's Grant. And the call will be against Dwight Bikes. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Grant. Passes it to Zipser.
The wheels have completely come off for him here in the second half.
Here's Ennis. Another shot. And the layup is good.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
The Bulls have gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. They set the screen. Poke loose. Here we go, one-on-one. Here's Ellenson. Second chance shot. They grab their own miss. And that one, good.
Great hustle on display. And you know what? It's paying off with those second chance points.
It's been a pretty tough stretch for them.
And this will be an important possession. It's really essential. They put a stop to this run, and the best way to do it is by great execution.
Here's Lopez. Lays it up and off the glass.
But the arms of Lopez go on forever, which is why he's able to create for himself deep.
Here's Moreland. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Chris, we've seen video review get introduced into the NBA and tweaked as we go along, refining it, polishing it off. And at this point, would you like to see video review expanded even further? Or do you think it's in a good spot where it stands right now?
I think it's in a good spot right now. I'm sure if I had time to think about it, there are areas in which you want to go to. But if you really think about it, I mean, the game is supposed to be a spur of the moment. It's supposed to be just players free-flowing and playing. And you don't want to make the game slower by going to the officiating video every single time. Right now, I don't think you should do it on charges and blocks, which is probably one of the most controversial calls in the game. I think where we have it now is good because it gives a balance. And right now, we do not need the game to lengthen in any way, if anything, shorten. And I think adding anything more to refereeing and videos, I think would just make the game last longer.
And the second free throw, good. Bulls have gone 5 of 11 from the field in the fourth quarter. Got a piece of it. Unhindered, going all the way. Rips down the breakaway slam.
And showing a good nose for the ball there. Picks it clean, then he's off to the races.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to waste that effort. You want to cash in on these extra possessions. They certainly did that time.
Screen by Grant. Kicks it to Holiday. That 3 off the mark. Pistons shooting in the fourth quarter has been efficient at 56%. Baseline J on the way. That's good on the jump shot. The Pistons shooting it as well as you're going to see, 67%. And Ennis slams it in.
Okay, 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right?
That's right. He was ultra safe with that dunk, no question. The Bulls have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Lopez left side. Outside Holiday. And you look at today's players, they have so many more ways to connect with their fans. But, Chris, at times, do you think that creates added pressure for the players?
Every player has pressure. I don't know about added pressure, but I do think it's a different time with social media, and you can hear everyone's opinion. So I think that you need to focus more if you're an athlete, but I don't think it adds more pressure, because whether or not someone can type it or say it in your face or boo you at a game, you're going to hear those words.
There's Moreland. Lets the three fly. Here's Ennis. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Ennis has got 20.
I mean, he is just demoralizing his opponent right now on the backboard. They didn't want anything to do with him on that possession, almost like they were just giving up on the play.
His dominance on the boards is really putting them on their heels. They want no part of this man out there tonight.
Wow, what a sensational quarter from him. And as long as they have this lead, I'd keep going to him again and again and again and again.
Now, here's Grant. And the pass to Felicio. Right side, Holiday. Lopez sets a screen for Holiday. Softly drops in the floater.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back in? Oh! He's putting on a show for these fans.
I can't believe he pulled that one out in the course of an actual game.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. So for the Bulls, Noah Vonleh, he's checked in for Lopez. And it's Payne in for Jaren Grant. Now here's Payne. He's guarded closely. Now Detroit moving it up. And Bikes gets it to go.
And when you can outscore your opponent in transition, that's always going to work to your advantage.
Yeah, but you have to control the pace. You have to keep it up, keep the tempo. That's how they built this lead.
There's a screen. And the call will be against Dwight Bikes. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Payne. A 3 off the inbound, and Ellenson pulls it down. Ellenson's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. And Bikes gets it to go.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Payne kicks to Holiday. Poked away. A solo fast break. Here's Bikes. And he caps off the fast break with a monster slam.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came upright with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
And how about the explosiveness he shows, going from the offensive to the defensive end in a blink?
Payne's shot is good.
He has come out strong to begin this half and has really found his stroke.
From deep three-point range, the Pistons rebound.
They are really crashing the offensive glass, and it's paying off for them.
I think a kick out is the better option there. Defense had the rim on lockdown.
Chris, you look at the way the game is played now. We have seen some retired players say it is soft.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is soft when you look through their lens. That's true. But that's the way that the game is today. And so if you're a fan just coming to the game now, or, if this is the game you love, you accept it and you keep moving on. As long as the fans love it, as long as the players are having fun with it. But definitely, compared to the 80s, to the 90s, there's no doubt about it that the game is soft as far as physical play. But at the same time, look what it's produced. It has allowed players to show the beauty of an offensive jump shot, of an offensive move, and also made defenders get that much better because you have to move laterally. You can't use your hands to guard.
Pass to Felicio. To the inside, Holiday, and it's slammed in by Holiday.
That was all about the assist. Great pass to set up the shot.
Here's Kennard. And again, it's the Pistons missing. And Holiday has it in the corner. Here's Felicio. The shot off that time. And the Pistons now going the other way. Moreland passes to Kennard for the three. Excellent D there from Holiday. Now the Bulls with it. Right now they're on a 9-0 run.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Pistons.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And so taking a look at their record, a nice milestone they'll be picking up tonight. 30 wins on the year now.
And with this win now, we're all square, 1-1. 2 more games yet to come in what's proving to be a very competitive season series. You know, didn't need 2 hands for that slam. One will do just fine.
You're right. He can save the other hand for the next time. Payne kicks to Holiday, expanding his range, and off target that time from Zipser.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know if he can just break through this cold streak, he can give you what you need.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. They're up. 44 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
I should probably introduce myself. Shoot you I wore. I had a king and a party hat. I was the king of this hologram where there's no such thing as getting out of hand.
And now we present our Jordan Player of the Game.
And he's provided them with a major mismatch on that low block tonight. That they've been able to lean on his scoring in the paint. And if nothing else has worked, he's given them a reliable option on every possession.
What an injection of energy he gave them off the bench. And for a team mired in a very tough stretch, you can't say enough about how much they needed someone to show that kind of fight. .44 seconds left in the fourth.
Pistons foul ball. That's his first personal foul. At the line, the Bulls. Cameron Payne. 2 shots.
2.
That free throw, no good. And he ends up missing both free throws. And here are the Pistons now. Ennis with the ball. And Holiday picks him up defensively. Great positioning on the putback.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Yeah, with a double-digit lead at this point, they can pretty much mark this one up in the win column.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Shoots the three, drops in the tray.
Boy, this final period, they are putting up a ton of shots from deep.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. They're looking to stack up some points. They've gotten into a nice groove from out there.
Payne with it. Down low. The shot by Vonleh, no good.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents
the deuce.
Oh, wonderful anticipation. He reads the play perfectly, then with the quick reaction time.
And so Detroit takes this one by a big margin. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you very much, Blake. Another good night of work offensively. How does the team build on this?
Just keep that rhythm. You know, we're not always going to hit shots every night. Some nights the shots aren't going to fall. So just keeping that rhythm, keeping the ball moving, talking on defense, and relying on each other.
Congrats on a great win, Blake. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time